So the question that always seems to come up when it comes to stepping toward your financial freedom and goal setting is, should I focus on paying off my debt first, or should I focus on investing first? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. But before we get into it, you want to make sure that you are subscribed and also that you have that bell notification on, because I am always dropping new content to give you some ideas, not only for what to potentially invest in, but also how to hit those financial goals you have. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed and that you have that notification on. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So on my journey of understanding the financial game and getting to where I am today, I had a lot of the same questions that people have about stocks. Should I start investing? What is an index fund? I have all this debt. I think at the time I was in debt about $40,000. Should I pay that off before I start investing? And there was a lot of information coming at me. And for me, it was important to understand, number one, where I was at debt-wise, and then number two, what my financial goals were investing-wise, to know where to start of, should I throw money into investing or should I start paying my debt down? And so that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, because this answer is not a one-size-fits-all. This is something that you need to look at your individual finances and determine what the next steps look like for you. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take a look at the debt that you have. Obviously, it might be the credit card debt, the auto debt, the home loan debt, all that stuff. How much do you have? And then secondly, what's the interest rate on it? The interest rate is really going to be the big determining factor of if you should pay this debt off right away or if you should start investing right away. Typically, what I've noticed is if you have high interest on things like credit cards or car loans, you should pay those off first before you start investing. Ideally, you want to get started in investing as soon as you can, but also if you're paying back a lot more, let's say like 10 to 20% on your debt, that's eating away at the amount of money that you could end up potentially investing. So the first thing that you really want to start with is cataloging those debts that you have, seeing how much you owe on them, what your monthly expenses are, and then ultimately the interest that you're paying on them. Once you have that cataloged, you're going to get a broad overview of what's going out. So now you know, okay, I have this much allocated toward debt every single month. And then what you're going to do is you're going to decide if it is a bigger amount of debt that you have out there, like a house loan or a car loan, chances are you probably can't pay that off right away. So we'll start crossing those off. I can't pay that debt off right away. I can't pay that debt off right away. But maybe you have a credit card on there, and that credit card is anywhere from $500 to $3,000, and you do have the ability to pay it off. Well, then what I would recommend in that specific scenario is paying that card off as soon as possible, because as we know with credit card debt, this stuff starts to compound on itself. You might have a low interest rate on it right now, but once that introductory phase of that credit card is over, that's when the high interest rates start, and you'll start to see 15, 20, even up to 30% interest paid back on that debt itself. And that's money that you could potentially be using to invest into whatever it is that you're interested in investing into. So you want to start with paying off those debts that you have the means of paying off right now. Then once you do pay those debts off, you can funnel that money that you would normally put into that credit card. Let's say that you're paying $50 a month or whatever it may be. Now you can start using that $50 a month to funnel into your investment game. So that's one tip and strategy that I would look at first. Now, let's say that you just don't have the ability at all to pay off any of those debts. It's just too much for you. Then what you want to do is you want to look at how much money do you have at the end of the money that's coming in, whether it be paycheck based or what have you. And maybe that's $5, maybe that's $100, maybe that's $200 that you have after paying those debts. I would start funneling money into those investments a little bit at a time. And I'm not saying invest all of it into there, but you want to ideally start investing as soon as you possibly can. So if that's $10 that you're investing into a stock, awesome. If that's $50 extra, awesome. You want to allocate some of that money to investing, and then you also want to take some of that money to pay down those debts. So you want to create a ratio or a balance, if you will, where some of that money is going into investing, but some of it is going into paying debt as well, because ideally we want to try to get out of debt as quickly as we possibly can. So any extra money that you can allocate toward it, you want to be able to. Now, that's not to say you funnel all of that paycheck money to your debt. That's not a good strategy, because the earlier you can start investing, the faster you're going to get to your financial goals. So what you want to look at is, if you don't have any ability to pay back that debt right now, look at how much extra money you have at the end of the month and funnel some of it toward paying extra on credit cards, and then some of it toward investing itself. So that's where I would start. And ideally, you want to get rid of that debt as fast as you possibly can, but also still be able to dedicate some of your income to investing. And even if that's a small number, it's still a start, because what's going to happen is you might be only able to do $5 a month right now, or maybe a paycheck or what have you. But what'll start to happen is, as you pay that debt off, you'll have more money freed up. And as you have more money freed up, now you can start dedicating more money toward investing. So that's where I would go if you have a large sum of debt that you just can't pay off. So if you did get value out of this video, give it a big thumbs up, and make sure that you smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, because this is a channel that's going to teach you about the money game, but also how to get where you want to go financially. And I do it from a holistic and also very open and honest standpoint, because again, the financial game is not a one size fits all. So I want to make sure that I'm coming at you with information so that you can make the best decision for yourself to hit those financial goals. So if you did find value in this, you do want to make sure that you are subscribed, because I'm always dropping a YouTube short and then also YouTube videos on a consistent basis. So you want to make sure that you don't miss any of those. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.